Alright guys, today I'm going to show you one of my absolute favorite summertime recipes. This is caprese salad. It is not traditional Italian caprese as I add my own little twist to it. These are all of my beautiful, deliciously grown tomatoes fresh out of the garden, freshly rinsed off. That's why they're sitting in a colander. I am just slicing them. The bigger ones get sliced into quarters and the smaller ones get sliced into half. The funny thing about this recipe is I hated tomatoes most of my life. Until my daughter was in my stomach, I hated tomatoes. When I became pregnant with her, I kid you not, I craved tomatoes. And it is the first sign that I knew that I was pregnant. My first pregnancy, actually, I lost, but I also craved tomatoes during that pregnancy as well. So, yeah, aren't those tomatoes beautiful? Those yellow ones, they're like bell-shaped yellow tomatoes. They are so sweet and delicious. All right, now here I just bought some mozzarella cheese. I thought these were the little tiny pearls. I tend to buy the little pearls because I just throw them in there, but these were like actual balls of mozzarella. So I'm gonna show you guys that I struggled to open this, and I'm so glad I cut the sound on this video because quite honestly, that was really loud trying to open that bag of mozzarella. Um, yeah. So anyway, back to the pregnancy story. That's how I knew I was pregnant with my daughter as I started craving tomatoes. Don't mind my pop socket on the side of the video that's kind of blocking the view. I had to use the pop socket to hold up my camera and I didn't realize it was blocking my view. So just pretend that's not there. You guys know I'm not a professional videographer. I'm just showing you guys. I cut up the mozzarella into little tiny, like little squares. This mozzarella is so delicious. Oh, it's so good. I just got it from Aldi's. It was like $2, $3 for a ball. And I cut up 2 balls for, I don't know, about 50 tomatoes. You guys should have heard the sound of the knife squishing through the mozzarella before I cut that sound out and then scraping on the cutting board. It was a god awful noise. It was like ASMR. Alright, I just break up, break it up, break up the little mozzarella. Break it up, break it up. It's so soft and squishy. This basil also came from my garden. I'm just showing you guys how I broke a piece off. It's fresh. It goes in there. Ta-da! Alright, now what I really do, but it's hard to film and do this, is I usually just grab the stem and I rip all the leaves off. And I chop them very rustically and I throw them in the bowl. Because the mozzarella, or not the mozzarella, the, the basil will actually, it will wilt and it will turn a darker color just because I like to let it sit in the bowl. And that's another thing. That's another piece of advice. I cut up the basil and I toss it in there and I toss the other ingredients in there and I let it sit on the kitchen table for about 20 minutes because all the flavors marry together. Put a little squeeze of lemon juice, just a little bit to give it a little acid. A sprinkling of salt. You can also add black pepper, which I usually do, but it wasn't on the kitchen table, so I couldn't show you that. And then extra virgin olive oil. Again, this is just olive oil I got at Aldi's. But I recommend a good olive oil. And a little bit of, the nasty feet smelling Parmesan from the shelf stable Parmesan. You could add like fresh Parmesan if you want, but I add the powdery stuff just, because it's more kid friendly. It's cheaper. It tastes good. It adds a nice saltiness to the caprese. Isn't that beautiful? This is my favorite thing to eat in the summertime. Absolute favorite. Especially considering I grew. Oh, isn't that pretty? I grew all that. All right, the end, guys. Enjoy.